The category is mythology, and here's the clue. On an early book of Flemish cartographer Gerardus Mercator's maps, an image of this titan holding the world was used. 30 seconds. Good luck. Adriana Harmeyer finished the match with $10,800. Does she have a correct Final Jeopardy response? Who is Atlas? That is why we call a book of maps an atlas, because of that illustration. What did you wager? An even $10,000. You now have $20,800 and the lead. But will it hold? Isaac Hirsch had $15,000 for second place. Did he come up with Atlas? Oh, he's got Atlas. What did he wager? $6,600. Now he's on top with $21,600. Drew Basile, he's got $19,200, and he wrote down, who is Atlas? He got it. What did he wager? Wow, everything. $19,200 for $10. He winds up with $38,400 and wins our exhibition match. Our first quarterfinal game ends with this Final Jeopardy category, world capitals, and this clue. Home to more than 400,000, it's the only world capital in the Roaring Forties latitudes. 30 seconds, players. Good luck. Rashad Wupalapati came into Final Jeopardy with $5,800. He wrote down, is Reykjavik, and he's not in the right hemisphere, I'm afraid. What did you wager? He bet everything. It knocks him down to 0. Allison Betts was in second place with $9,800. She wrote down Washington, D.C., and it's also not Washington, D.C.
I don't know latitude.
She wagered $5,401, leaving her with $4,399. Will Wallace had the lead heading into final, $15,200. He's shaking his head because he also had Reykjavik. No, you had to go to the southernmost world capital. This is Wellington, New Zealand. Comes down to the wager, Will. What'll it be? He bet $4,401, leaving him with $10,799. And that puts him in the semifinals. Congratulations, Will. The champs have made their wagers knowing that palindromic dates is the category. Here's their clue. This 7-digit date saw the premiere of Handel's Water Music. 30 seconds. Good luck. Got some very smart people thinking very hard right now. I can see the steam coming out of your ears. Grant DeYoung had $3,200 coming into final and wrote down as his date 1/17/1771. I'm afraid that's not quite it. What did you wager, Grant? $2,801 will drop you to $399. Amy Hummel was in second place with $6,600. Her date? Very similar, 1/17/1717. She is even closer, but that's still not quite it. She bet $199, taking her down to $6,401. So it comes down to David Erb with $7,200. His response?
Didn't finish.
Also in January, he didn't quite finish the year. No, it is in 1717, but to make the palindrome right, it's July 17th. 7/17/1717. It comes down to your wager, David. Did you go big or small? He bet big. 6,001 takes him down to second place. And this game ends in a win for Amy Hummel, who is headed to the semifinals. English literature, the subject for today's Final Jeopardy. Let's take a look at the clue. Part 2 of this 17th century work says, I see myself now at the end of my journey. My toilsome days are ended. 30 seconds, champs. Good luck. Greg Jolin had some bad daily double luck in that round. He finished up with $800. What response did he come up with? He wrote, "What is Pilgrim's Progress?" And that is correct. John Bunyan's allegory about Christian's journey to the celestial city. What did you wager, Greg? $231. You finished with $1,031. Waiki Ranela was in second place with $4,600. Did she know it was Pilgrim's Progress? She's right as well. What was the wager? $2,999. She'll wind up with $7,599 today. But Nilesh Vinjamori, very hard to catch today, $28,200. What a game. Did he know it was Pilgrim's Progress? He did. He will add, he bet zero. He stands pat at $28,200. And he joins Will and Amy in the semifinals. Our champions have wagered based on Latin phrases as a Final Jeopardy category. Let's show them the clue. After Camillagate, a fire at Windsor Castle, and marriage problems in her family, Queen Elizabeth II dubbed 1992 this. 30 seconds. Good luck. Mehal Shah's up first. He had $7,400. And he wrote down, what is an annus horribilis? And I'm afraid we cannot accept that, Mehal. What did you wager? 7,001 will take you down to $399. Pop Culture Jeopardy champ Ryan Manton is up next, 14,400. What did he come up with? Annum non grato? Non grata.
I just made something up.
Like, not a great year? That's in the spirit of the right response, but it's also incorrect. Ryan, how much did you wager? You lose 501, taking you down to $13,899. Will Stewart had a small lead heading into final. What did he come up with? Anno terribilis. No. Mehal, you were just a syllable away. It's annus horribilis. But because you dropped a vowel, you were a syllable off, and we cannot accept that response. So it's going to come down to Will's wager here. 14,000 drops him down to 900 in second place, and it puts Ryan Manton in the TOC semifinals. How about that? Only one of these players will advance to the semifinals, and we're about to find out who. U.S. place names is the category. Here's the clue. Before 1867, this city that lends its name to a type of tree was known as Novo-Archangelsk. 30 seconds. Good luck. We'll start with Kevin Laskowski and his $6,200. What did he come up with in Final Jeopardy? He wrote down, what is Juneau? You're in the right part of the US, but that is not correct, Kevin. He wagered everything but $1, leaving him with just that. Allison Gross was in second place with $10,400. Her response was going to be Palm Springs, I'm assuming? Even if you'd finished it, yep. Allison, don't worry. You wagered 2,001. That leaves you with 8,399. Mark Fitzpatrick had the lead with 16,400. What did he think it was? Newport. No, Kevin was on the right track with Alaska, but this was Sitka, the capital of Russian Alaska, namesake of the Sitka spruce. That was its old Russian name. So what did you wager, Mark? It all comes down to this. Just 4,401, leaving you with 11,999, and you survived. It puts you in the semifinals. What an upbeat way to end the quarterfinals. Places of disaster, our final Jeopardy category. Here's the clue. In 1883, an old sailor didn't know what its name meant, but believed the natives named it from the sound. 30 seconds, players. Good luck. Amar Kakirde in the middle has $6,600 at the moment. Does he also have a correct final Jeopardy response? What is Krakatoa? Yes, the famed eruption of 1883. You risked everything but $1, taking you to $13,199. Lucas Partridge was in second. Did Krakatoa leap to mind for him? No Krakatoa. What did you wager, Lucas? You lose 1989, Taylor Swift tribute maybe, taking you down to 5,411. But Drew Goins ran away with this thing, 31,200. Is he going to add anything with Krakatoa? He's correct. Lisa Ann, I will worship you the rest of my days. Lisa Ann Walters' work schedule has been very instrumental in your life lately, Drew. What did you wager? You had 808, taking you to $32,008 and taking you to the semifinals. Congratulations, Drew. In Final Jeopardy today, our semifinalists are contending with this category, countries of the world. And here's the clue. About 80 miles from Vladivostok, its 11-mile land border with Russia is the shortest of that country's 14 neighbors. 30 seconds. Good luck. Will Wallace on the end scraped his way into Final Jeopardy at the last minute. Did he come up with the correct response? Bhutan. It is not Bhutan, I'm afraid. How much did you wager? All 200. He's down to 0. Ryan Manton was in second place with 12,000. He wrote down at, I think, the last minute, what is North Korea? That is correct. North Korea has a very tiny Russian border. How much did you wager? 10,001. So he finishes with 22,001. He has a $1 lead over super champion Adriana Harmeyer. Did she know it was North Korea? She's also correct. Did she wager $1? 3,000 takes her to an even 25,000, and it makes her our first Tournament of Champions finalist. Congratulations, Adriana. Our semifinalists have made their wagers with this category in mind, scientists' names. Here's their clue. The first man to observe bacteria and protozoa had a name containing the Dutch word for this much bigger creature. 30 seconds, players. Good luck. Amy Hummel had $5,600 coming into final. Will she add to that? She wrote down, what is a goose? I'm afraid that's not it, Amy. You wagered everything but a buck. You're down to $1. Isaac Hirsch was in second place with 13,600. His response was, what is a lion? Yes, the scientist von Leeuwenhoek, Leven meaning lion in Dutch. Lion's Corner was his name. How much are you going to add, Isaac? $4,000. You now have $17,600. You still trail Mark by $800, but he probably needs to get this right. Did he know what Leeuwenhoek means? Oh, I think he's thinking of the right guy, but he guessed Leviathan. That is not correct. He will lose 8801, knocking him into second place. Isaac Hirsch, come from behind win, is headed to the finals. Ancient geography, the Final Jeopardy category today. Here's the clue. Wadi el Melikat in Arabic This site, near a similar and better-known location, was the burial place of Nefertari and others. 30 seconds, players. Good luck. We'll begin with the dynamic Drew-O. Drew Goins had 4,400 heading into final. He wrote down, what is the Valley of the Kings? And I'm afraid that's not it, Drew Goins. You wagered just 400, leaving you with $4,000. Now, Drew times 2. Drew Basile had 6,800. He wrote down, the Valley of Queens. That is correct. The Kings are nearby, but this is the Valley of the Queens. So he will add 2002. He now has 8,802, a $2 lead over Nilesh Venjamori. Did Nilesh come up with the Valley of the Queens? He got it. He will add 4,801, taking him to 13,601, and he moves on to the Tournament of Champions Finals. Game 1 of the Tournament of Champions Finals ends with this category, European history, and this clue. At his trial, revolutionaries referred to the deposed Louis XVI with this last name, one used previously for a dynasty. 30 seconds. Good luck. We'll begin with Nilesh Venjamori on the end, $11,400. Very impressive. What house did he come up with? What is Valois? I'm afraid that's not the right one, Nilesh. He wagered everything, and it'll bring him down to 0. Adriana Harmeyer also had 11,400. Her response was different French royal house, Merovingian, but also incorrect. Did she go all in? No, only 6,000. Interesting. So that leaves her with 5,400. So it comes down to Isaac Hirsch, who had the lead heading into final. His attempt? Louis's actual dynasty, Bourbon. No. In fact, he was called Citizen Louis Capet at his trial. Marie Antoinette was the widow Capet. So an even older French dynasty. How much did you wager, Isaac? It comes down to this. Oh, he went big. 9,001 drops him to 4,799. And it means Adriana Harmeyer's small wager means she strikes first. One win for her in the Tournament of Champions Finals. Looks like Final Jeopardy today will concern Men of War. Very appropriate in this hard-fought TOC Finals. Here's the clue. Robert E. Lee's victory at Chancellorsville has been likened to this Greek's victory at Asculum in 279 BC. 30 seconds. Good luck. Adriana Harmeyer is up first. She was in third with 5,400. And she wrote down, who is Hannibal? I'm afraid it's not Hannibal, Adriana. You wagered, nothing at all. You still have $5,400. Isaac Hirsch was in second place with 18,800. His response, who is Pyrrhus? Yeah, I think it's a U instead of an I, but that's phonetically right. We'll take that a Pyrrhic victory because of the 12,000 Confederate casualties at Chancellorsville despite the victory. How much will you add? Wow, big wager, 18,600. You're now in the lead with 37,400. And you are hoping against hope that Nilesh Venjamori did not think of Pyrrhus. Is he correct? He got it. Did he wager big enough? 6,001 takes him to 37,601. He wins by just $201 and notches his first win in the TOC Finals. Final Jeopardy category today, contemporary authors. Let's reveal the clue. Asked by a student about the Loch Ness Monster, she said a time portal below could allow a prehistoric creature to pass through. 30 seconds. Good luck. What author would be thinking about Scotland and time travel? We'll start in the middle with Isaac Hirsch, $1,600, and a response of, who is the Outlander lady? That is correct as far as it goes. It's not quite specific enough, though. You were on the right track, Isaac. You will lose $300, knocking you down to $1,300. Adriana Harmeyer had $14,000, and she wrote down, she remembered the name of the Outlander lady, Diana Gabaldon. That is right. She wagered not a bit. $14,000 will be her final score today. Nilesh Vinjamori could not be caught with his 30,000 even. Was he correct in final? He was unsure in final, but it probably won't matter. He wagered $0. $30,000 means he's today's Tournament of Champions finals winner. Could this be the clue that decides the tournament? European artwork is the category. Here's the clue. A rope around their leader's neck. The men depicted in this late 19th century piece seem resigned to death, but in the end, they survived. 30 seconds. Good luck. We'll begin with Adriana Harmeyer, one of the great Jeopardy players of the last year. Not her day on the buzzer, $2,800. What did she come up with in final? What is the Raft of the Medusa? That's a good guess. It's not correct, though. She wagered everything. She'll finish today with $0. Nilesh Vinjamori was in second place today with $13,800. What did he come up with? Burghers of Calais. That Rodin sculpture is the correct response. How much did you wager, Nilesh? $84.01. You now have a $1 lead over Isaac Hirsch, who came into final with $22,200. Was he thinking about Rodin and the Burghers of Calais? He got it. We are taking that. That's a B. The Burghers of Calais. He wagered $54.01. $27,601 gives Isaac Hirsch his first win in these TOC finals. Our three finalists are tangling with Greek myth in Final Jeopardy today. Here's the clue. Panoptes, meaning all-seeing, was the byname of this legendary figure, slain by Hermes while standing guard over Io. 30 seconds, players. Good luck. Isaac Hirsch has $7,800 right now. Does he have a correct Final Jeopardy response? He wrote down, who is Argus? Yes, Panoptes all-seeing because he's a 100-eyed giant. What did you wager, Isaac? You'll add $7,700. You now have $15,500 and the lead. Adriana Harmeyer wrote down her response at the last minute. Was it Argus? It was. She will add $6,000. She's now in front with $16,400. So Nilesh Vinjamori needs a correct response here. Did he come up with Argus? He did. That spelling's also right. He adds $72.01. That's enough. $20,801 gives Nilesh his third win. And he just won the Jeopardy Tournament of Champions. Hey, thanks for watching. Click on the subscribe button and don't miss a moment.